I think it's going to be that mid-jungle for PSG Talon that need to come alive here.
Well, Kalista is left up and immediately locked in here for BLG. What's the answer? You know, you could try and go I would say a Draven lane, but Benny is not a Draven player, so we'll go with the Lucian angle.
Like this angle, aggressive angle from PSG. We're going to talk adaptation. Taking the fight into BLG's 2v2, at least that can be somewhat of a start.
And it might be the Lucian Nami side, like trying a lane swap for the first couple levels and then swapping backs, depending on support pickup. We'll see. Of course, PSG, their lane swaps originally here were not very good at MSI. They improved a bit on them. I don't know if they've even further improved for this series.
Yeah. Oh,
they definitely would have had to. Oh, that Ahri we were talking about. Oh my goodness, nice Ahri. And you can hear the crowd. The crowd immediately reacting to that one. Ahri was banned in the last 9 games versus Knights. And this is going to be very, very scary.
Especially after he got that predict on Rookie with the charm and playoffs. It was so disgusting to see. So this is a guy who is an absolute masterclass on this pick. And especially when you look at Knight, he's been renowned as the murder book. He likes to pick it up on Ahri as well, so we see if he gets to go rolling.
85% of the time against BLG in playoffs, this was banned against them for big reason. Let's see if PSG are going to excuse me, what's the word? Regret. There we go. English is hard. Maybe not as hard as this Taliyah is going to be in the mid lane as Maple tries to take the matchup.
We did say, though, I think this is something that you can look to try and play through. If you can get a strong jungler here, get Maple to level 6, try and lean into this bottom side, because realistically, I think that's where your biggest problem is going to be. You've got an incredibly aggressive bottom lane here with the Renata and the Kalista that you can stand toe-to-toe against this Lucian Nami. So if you can get control there, that feels like how BLG are going to snowball. So I want to see what JunJia's going to bring to the table. But on the opposite side, it does help as well. Azhi having that counter pick against Bin. They've already removed the Renekton. That has been his strongest blind pick for several years now. Sure. So getting that off the board is definitely going to help the PSG Talon top laner.
Meanwhile, BLG doing some Bin protection bans right now too, banning out the Twisted Fate in addition to that Rumble and really whittling it down here. So although Aja and PSG will have the final Red 5 counter pick, they're taking away basically the only main things that they're worried about. I would still say like Udyr, just because it is just most comfortable, you know, most spam champion. Maybe throw that one in the mix too.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll probably see it, but I'm curious because traditionally when I see like a TF ban and stuff, I'm like, oh, we're probably going the Ksante angle, something along those lines. But it's not exactly like Bin's a big Ksante player, has much more leaned in towards the Aatrox and the Bruiser champion. So I'm curious exactly what he wants to try and bring out on this top side of the map, especially when we've got, you know, the Rek'Sai started to disappear. The Rumble hasn't been a big pick for him, but that's gone as well. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what he wants to go for.
Interesting though, we got double jungle ban from PSG. Again, we can use the word adaptation. Maokai gets locked in, so we still usually wait for the level 6, but a lot of CC chains built up here, while for BLG, Jarvan gets hard locked. What goes well with the setup here when mid jungle is already so strong? Bin loves Jax. No one else looking at it as seriously as he is right now, but Bin still looks at it, even if he's going to end up playing weak side.
Oh man, if you have to play first game versus BLG against Knights, Ahri, and Bin's Jax, it's just okay. Oh, they still in here. That's what I was looking for though. Instead, oh, never mind.
Kobe.
Okay.
Maybe he's just hovering what he thinks. He's like, oh, you're the Udyr guy. Maybe you'll play this.
Wait, no way. The crowd's getting revved up. They're like, are you actually going to take Vayne into this top lane? I mean, just because we saw it yesterday, is Keen enough data to start looking at this a bit more seriously? Why is it coming through? Wait. Oh, it's a bait, isn't it? It's an absolute bait. You're always told in caster school, don't talk about the hovers. And that's why Urgot gets locked at the end. Not as exciting, of course.
I don't know. I feel like Urgot has been kind of stealing the show a little bit at MSI.
Kobe, bring it up.
Definitely been in the spotlight a lot. You know, the ultimate is also a very good interaction with Ksante's ultimate, chunking himself lower and then going for those executes. We've seen multiple times. And with some of the nerfs to Ksante, giving Urgot a better time, we'll see. We will see. It also has some really good scaling, so maybe they can get there. I just think it is so scary here outright. What are you going to do about mid lane? Because mid lane's going to be under a lot of pressure, especially with Shun, with this Jarvan, trying to throw the extra pressure towards Maple. And then once Knight gets control of mid lane on Ahri, like, you never get control of the map back.
Now, he's very, very good at looking for these picks, pushing off of mid-wave, leaning in towards bot, looking in towards picks in the jungle with Shun. So I think this is really where you're going to be under pressure for PSG Talon. So I am looking at JunJia to say, look, you've got your work cut out for you. Azhi just is hoping that he's going to have a good matchup on the top side. They get left alone. It is going to be this mid and bot side where a lot of this pressure is going to be taken.
As per usual, mid and bot side, that sounds a lot like BLG. But on the other side, while we've been tooting their trumpet the whole time, let's go back to the other side and just say for PSG, what has been unexpected and been really nice was their FlyQuest series, their ability to adapt. It was talked about. Yes, there are a lot of mistakes from FlyQuest in the early game due to lane swap, but I think for PSG, they've again shown some adaptation within the draft, and there is something unexpected every time we see them once again.
Yeah, they're looking at mid-game, mid-game, mid-game. Can we please get to some mid-game team fights?
Play it faster.
Because that's where PSG are strongest, and especially if you can get that Lucian Nami to their single item breakpoints, rotate them into mid lane, and have some big plays that way. PSG really fighting for their lives.
Versus tournament favorites. We're in Chengdu. Let the gyos ring. Look at him go. Look at him. That's the guy that flexed earlier on, I'm pretty sure. So definitely the big fan. Welcome to the series.
I've seen those biceps before.
Oh, yeah. All right, gents, where we want to start?
Well, we got wards on Raptors here trying to look out for it, and we are going to see the rotation over as kind of expected. The Lucian Nami looking to bypass some of the early levels at the very least, can swap back afterwards.
Looking for the jungle pathing here, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, it is a feature matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz. Shun versus JunJia. Importantly enough, we talked about Shun controlling the game, especially towards bot side on this Jarvan. We have to see where the pathing begins as PSG start with the invade.
The PSG just trying to see if they can get in here to spot out if Shun is trying to steal away a camp. But will he get the smite off? Ooh.
600. Flag. Okay, waits it out. Baits it. Archer goes in. He gets a smite. He gets level 2 as Maple's in a bit of trouble as well. Bin's come down. He shocks him into all the charm. Is the start Orb of Deception as well, because Knight hit 2. Ebb and flow as Bin's ghosted in, but the flag and drag gets a knock-up. You want to fight PLG early, they'll get down and dirty with it. First blood over to Shun.
It's a disaster for PSG. The idea was good. Get the invade off, give Azhi a job to shove Shun out of this top side, but Maple just doesn't respect the control that Knight has in the mid lane. Him hitting level 2, working with Bin, they managed to get that pick.
Uh-oh, they're going to go for round 2, it looks like here. Shun doesn't have smite this time around, so is not going to be able to secure his blue buff. Woody and Aja will at least push him off that.
But remember, again, look at this bot lane, guys. Elkanon have already started firing at this turret, so tempo begins, and Kobe, as you like to always say, this is the squishier turret, so pace is definitely in BLG's favor.
Yeah, certainly is. Meanwhile here, PSG looked like they were going for the slow push there, but then got up an extra auto off of Nami. Here's another look as JunJia comes in and tried to take over the remaining quadrant here. At least 2 camps still available on the blue side.
Wave slowly pushing in. Look at the bot side as well. Next one traversing as well. Jarvan down towards the bottom side for Shun, while JunJia hovers top, but only now do Betty and Woody start hitting this turret with Arja getting into the mix.
And that's the kind of thing that we didn't see with all of the focus there on the invade. JunJia was able to take his blue quadrant and then come over, so the Maokai is going to have way more jungle camps available to him. Meanwhile, Shun here on the Jarvan, just going to be able to go pick up that Scuttle Crab assumed on bottom side and then be a little bit more sad.
Yeah, it's kind of Shun falling behind, but Elkanon are in a fantastic spot. Already 2 of those plates gone down. And we're also maybe looking at a play in mid here. Woody's hovering.
Oh, good shot back, actually getting the stun as well. Knight in a bit of trouble. The damage is good too. One more from Maple, flashed away from. And Knight getting forced out is a great start.
And of course, Shun's not going to be too sad because he is the one who got the kill credit for the first blood. So he got the gold injection, even though won't have the extra camps for the experience. As you can see, the full level lead already for JunJia on the Maokai. So Maokai getting to that level 6 early. Maybe that's something that PSG can rely on.
I think the downside is just how far your bot lane is behind, though. That's 3 plates that have gone over to Elkanon versus the 1 on that top side. Already going to pick up the boost and double longsword. You do have the Kerchase shard for Betty, which will be nice, but in the long run, I think you win out for BLG. And Betty has a level advantage here, so I don't think you want to play very aggressive on this one, but Elkanon should be able to punish just the extra gold that they have.
TP bottom right is going to be showing Knight returning back to lane after losing the flash. Lane's now being matched as well to just keep track there as well. Top lane is getting about as much CS as you'd expect here in the early game, as Shun is now trying to rotate around, still level 3 here to find an angle in enemy jungle.
You can see Maokai trying to steal away his own Grom to make sure that he doesn't get invaded by Jarvan, who's coming down now. Betty.
Handshake almost there, that would have been the kill, but Elk still going forward. The Hail of Blades comes in handy. He's got spears in him, almost died to the last auto. Shun there just in case it gets busier, as JunJia now matching 2.
Yeah, just going to have this stare down here with junglers, but because BLG have the advantage in health on AD carries, they're going to go for even more poke. The handshake doesn't hit JunJia, though. He'll be thankful for that one. Meanwhile, of course, Bin very comfortable on the Ksante up on top side, pushing in, getting the wave on up as Knight looks for his roam. He's level 6, coming down to the Dragon. You do not want to mess around. He's got his ultimate ready, so nobody wants to get anywhere close.
Yeah, I mean, the BLG will get Dragon, but honestly, I've been kind of impressed with JunJia. He's done a good job of protecting his bot side camps. Yep. Takes Grump, so you can't actually get the camp that's safest for BLG to take. Now he gets his Wolves. He'll get to move up into his top side that's about to respawn. Overall, you're in a pretty good spot here as JunJia specifically, whereas if you look at the XP levels on your left-hand side, Shun is basically matching Bin, who is the lowest member on BLG.
And again, a good read starting off in game number 1. It's nice to give a little compliment here to PSG with the approach to the matchup. I just want to point out with the early game, though, even with Knight burning the flash, there is a bit of a CS lead coming through in the matchup. A lot of the time, the matchup that we see, a lot of Taliyahs don't want to take.
It still has this Dark Seal, though. It's still classic
There
Knight,
it is,
right?
yeah.
Working up towards his murder book. He's renowned for it in the LPL. We'll have to see how many stacks he'll be able to get, or whether Maple can make him regret spending that money. But at the moment, it's going to be just him poking his head into topside, looking to get a little bit of vision. But I think they're well aware JunJia is going to be on the Void Grubs as the announcement goes out.
Picks up all 3. Announcement, as you mentioned. Shun's not there in time. Knight just pokes his head and clears the ward in the meantime as well. A lot of pings coming down on the bot side as On is starting to try and sync up as per usual with Shun. Elk on his lonesome for the time being, as that is a slow pushing wave heading towards bot lane turret for BLG.
Yeah, certainly is. Looks like they're going to be able to crash it, no problem though, no danger for them. And JunJia's almost at that level 6 we were looking at for Maokai. So if they can make some sort of play off of that, maybe they can get the foothold here into this game.
I'm curious if it's even just, hey, toss it down in mid, see if you can burn Knight's ultimate, because he doesn't have the flash available, and at least get the ground that Maple needs to start looking for this ultimate on side lanes. He has the teleport advantage, so I could see a gank mid, get the reset timer for Maple, he shoves out mid and immediately starts to lean into bot side. This is going to be a big wave that's building on the bottom side, as that charm just goes wide for Nice.
Nice sidestep. You know, Maple getting away from that was big as well, as he was low on mana too. Bin under turret, meanwhile just looking for the demolish. Arja closes. He wants to try and hit level 6. What's the EXP advantage? Only a little bit here for Bin. Arja halfway to level 6, though. Can't find the kill threat to Bin being under his turret.
Oh, the pings are going down here.
On waits ever so patiently. Sapling throws out. JunJia runs away. Now level 6 here on JunJia as well, as he's right where he needs to be once again on this bottom side.
Yeah, if Jin's able to finish stealing away this blue, though, which he should be able to, he sticks around. This turret's getting very low.
It is indeed, as you'd expect. Good handshake this time around from On. Elk has level 6 as well, and well, Kalista showing up big. Junglers are fighting out in the meantime as well. Remember, JunJia holding onto that ult is big, as he just dissuades Shun from getting involved in a potential dive or potential all-in, but JunJia says no.
Okay.
I ulti in, trying to block for the time being as Elk has the Fate's Call. He used that handshake, goes a kilometer, and On is out for ulti trade.
Yeah, BLG actually have a lot of answers for a Maokai ult. They have not only the Kalista ult, but they also have cleanse on Elk, depending on positioning. You know, he can walk up and soak one too, so they opt in this scenario here to use the Kalista ult itself, but they're on ward.
They think they can find it, don't they? I mean, On's not level 6. Betty's going to run on in. They just used a lot. Handshake now missing. Twisted advances there. Elk gets flashed. Bramble smashed on. He's going to get into the bailout, though. Ignite's down, but no trade. He's down. JunJia one auto away. On flashes for it, but he's committed another kill over to PSG. A winning trade thanks to that ward is great.
Beautiful stuff from JunJia. The flash forward into the knockback to set up PSG. And yeah, the kill goes across to On, but that doesn't matter. PSG Talon are actually starting to get control over this bottom side.
Yeah, they don't get their timing down here for the bailout. Let's take another look at it as JunJia comes in. He's going to go for the flash engage, secure here on Elk. And even though Elk uses his cleanse, JunJia goes for the flash with the Bramble Smash, so he still gets the nice angle there. Bumps Elk backwards, and then on flashes just to finish it off. So a lot of summoners blown here.
Yeah.
On their side. We'll see how vulnerable that gets them. Elk, of course, did save his flash at the very least.
But you still have Maple who's available, right? So it kind of feels like at this stage, again, just get Maple out of this mid lane, set him up with the Weaver's Wall into the bottom side, and you can start to punish the lack of flash. Now, it is the lack of flash on. You're going to have the ultimate for the Kalista up very, very shortly, so a little bit of a timing window you have to work off of, but it feels like PSG tried to set that up by clearing out that vision, and look at where they're putting Maple, just hiding out of vision, making sure that BLG have to give respect to him.
Yeah, there's also no cleanse here for Elk, and the Maokai ultimate is ready. Plus, off of that kill, Betty actually completed his static shiv.
Oh, yeah.
Even as expensive as it is now.
Elk still showing damage with a lethality burst, but the static is adding extra wave clear. And I think we just need to isolate PSG right now and say, a job well done in the early game, because their reaction to bot, their read coming into the series was that, hey, Sean is going to dive bot. Bot is going to play aggressively and look for the all-in on the turret. The constant shadow from JunJia has been fantastic.
The problem, though, is that your mid lane is still losing out, just on CS-wise. Nice done a great job of controlling Maple. And top, the counter matchup you're supposed to have is also going in favor of Bin. So bot lane needs to perform, and Betty wants to make that happen, but Cully not really going to hit.
Well, I don't care about that. I'm not going to listen to that, actually. I'm just going to focus on the good parts of PSG.
La 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 la.
Yeah, I don't care whatever Dagda said. Everyone,
yeah.
Everyone forget it. I hate logic. What are you running in? Wow, maybe not logical there. The timing he thought with Dragon was okay, but he now flashes away, almost getting called out while Dragon was the trade for the grub exchange top.
Are they going to go for a dive up here? Because they've got a roam from Knight. Knight and Shun working in tandem.
Versatility of BLG is also something to highlight here, but it's 3 members in the wave. Look at those little minions, not long for this world. They don't care. They still dive regardless. Arja flashes away and buys time, which is great, but Knight hits the charm. All out in the end. Bin tanks up the last turret, and he's okay. From downtown, though, is JunJia with a reverse. As a flash from Elk goes in, fate sealed out. And now the re-engaged Knight has TP down. The charm hits. Hostile takeover. BLG are insane. On tries to run forward for the reset, but eventually dies. Knight does the same. Maple survives, and Elk now has no mana. He's running for his life, but sped up is JunJia, looking for a twisted advance. He's close, he's in, he's under turret. JunJia going deep. Elk survives, but BLG get messy.
Oh, the cleanse clutch there for Elk to be able to survive, but they get messy indeed. I thought Maple was going down with the extra phase rush speed running under the tower. He tries to go back to mid lane. Don't get hit.
He's going to get hit, isn't he?
He has the flash, he has the ult. I don't think you're getting away from this, Maple. There he goes.
About it. Where is he? Flash tackles and the absolute dunk at the emote afterwards.
It's still, though, PSG Talon succeeding on the bottom side, which
Yeah.
I think is actually the important part of all this. The fact that you end up getting the kills, losing that wave, that is huge. We'll see it on the replay here. So they start off where Elk flashes forward onto Betty here. As they go forward, On does the right thing of blocking up the Maokai ultimate. Elk flashes over, but doesn't realize that Maple's going to be here. So very quickly after retreat, On falls. And Knight here, I believe, is trying to get the reset for on Maple.
Yeah.
So maybe they can escape, but he ends up just walking directly into all of Betty's damage. And Maple just does not die, hiding in the bush. There's nothing they can do. And now Oak's all alone as PSG chase him down to get another summoner spell from the BLG AD carry.
Yeah, that cleanse is going to get a workout every time that thing is up, being used with all the focus on bottom side.
It's crazy. PSG coaching staff, though, feeling it a bit after the early game. Again, there's still a 1K gold lead for BLG, which they've maintained through the first 13 minutes, but PSG have got their bottom lane in a good position. Maple as well, catching back up on CS, and a kill is going to make this a much more competitive mid-game as BLG try to fight around blue.
And this is something that PSG mentioned themselves. They said, we have to fight them immediately. We can't let BLG run over us. So they're really trying to contest them in the early stages here, splitting objectives, going 4-4 on kills. You know, the extra gold lead definitely is going to be a little bit of an issue, but honestly, with kind of the expected matchup here, PSG doing decently for themselves.
The fact that you end up with the lane swap earlier come back to bite them though, that tower very, very low, but there's a lot of PSG members
Speaking
here.
of which, Elk is low. He took under turret, shouldn't go to the back line. They're trying to kill Betty.
It's
Knight goes in as
2v3.
well. They're teleporting in. This is so ambitious, but BLG get the reset. Now for Maple to run on in. Knight flashes away and disengages while the rest of BLG found their mark. How are they winning the fight? It looks so janky, so weird. And even better on the top side. Solo kills. Arena roars at this combat.
The cross map ace! Just as we're trying to compliment PSG on keeping it close, BLG kicking into overdrive. Cross map ace as Bin finishes up his solo bolo. They're gonna get 2 turrets after that. And guess what? That's just gonna be an avalanche of gold that immediately gets spent and makes it so insanely hard to win any team fights now.
There was 1,000 gold difference between these two teams, and this has now happened, and suddenly it's 5k.
No.
It is absolutely absurd, but
All right,
this had no right going the way that it did. You can see Maple forcing BLG's bot lane away, and here I'm like, this is 2v3. They should have this, but instead, Betty ends up falling to Knight. Shun with the Sunder Sky getting that healing in and the Triumph as well. And then eventually Elkanon ready to get into the mix. And it's just pick after pick after pick.
And you know what happened topside? It's an interrupt on the teleport that got him killed.
Oh,
it's like a humanoid style play here.
Hey, what are you going to do us like that, man?
Anja's like, I'm trying to help the team, but it actually ends up so much worse because the team lost 4v4 anyway, and then now he dies to Bin.
That was so clean as well. I mean, yeah, it's frustrating. Dagda pointed out, ladies and gentlemen at home, 5k gold lead all of a sudden just sprung up. And now as culling comes through, look at the poke damage from Elkanon. They avoid most of the culling as well. That just shows you this Kalista has caught back up from what was an early game success in that bottom side for PSG.
Yeah, the lethality making Kalista into a bit of a burst mage more so, especially when she's got this much gold. So this is where, again, it comes hard now to try and contest on mid-wave. You can already see Knight setting up nicely in that top side. He's going to have the opportunity to push. You can then collapse onto mid. Bin as well winning in the 1v1 means that he can also collapse on mid. And Betty's already super low.
Bin's here on the flank as well on a ward, so they're going to pay respect. The wave at least cleared away, but yeah, the Betty poke keeps getting worse and worse against him.
I also love the adaptation from BLG. Immediately pick up the double sweeper on the solo laners. So it's like, cool, we can continuously shove waves in, then clear out all the vision that PSG have established in their own jungle and just make the map dark, make it really difficult for them to know what's happening. And with this Rift Herald, should be able to crack open mid if they want to after this dragon is taken as well.
Yeah, dragon pretty easy for them. Rotate Ahri up to the top side, catch that wave. Bin easily pushing on bottom as well as mid lane dodge on the skill shots here. Maokai ultimate goes out, but
they're out. Fate's call. Saves on as well. Actually, could turn into a re-engage because Bin's coming up. PSG have to go somewhere now, but maybe defensive walking is okay. But Herald's going to be dropped regardless here for BLG after we're looking to see how much more gold they can create. The last outer turret remaining. Herald's going to charge on in and make it one-shottable.
all right, they're going to call over Aja, but that just means you have all 5 members here for PSG, so your side lane's going to get pushed in. Knight up there on the Ahri has free reign. He's going to push that one all the way up to tower. And they try, at least they have plenty of defensive wards here through their jungle for PSG, so they can try and rotate to catch.
All in. Betty, do you want to do this? Maybe he does with JunJia in as well. Tidal Wave as well. Dodge on his dead. Elk is up next. He's about to go into ulti. The bailout's there, but no one there for the reset, and he dropped. The 2v2 of BLG is being bailed out now by Might. In the mid lane, Maple's going to drop on down. Knight, excuse me, takes the words away and gets a small trade.
This is actually great from PSG, though. They managed to get the numbers advantage, winning the team fight, and a huge amount of it came, well, as long as JunJia gets out, came from Maple dropped the top wave. BLG skipped steps. They didn't wait for Maple to show on top. They went for the play. And as they went for that play, Maple was like, no, I need to be here. I need to play on mid to cover Knight's potential roam. And with Maple being there, PSG Talon just have the numbers there quicker and can take the fights.
They get themselves some kills. Let's take another look at how it started, though, because, of course, Maple on the top side with the Taliyah ult is going to come in as Betty and JunJia go for the play. Elk there barely doesn't get hit by the seismic shove, but does get finished off there to the flash. And then, honestly, I thought the collapse might even get more for BLG, but they really only get that extra kill back onto Maple. And JunJia does get down to bottom side, finish off his recall, and escape with his life.
In the opening game here, bottom lane has been caught out a few times, and I think also, you know, some of these great wards from PSG, whether they're lane wards or brush wards, have spotted Elkin on positions maybe they have no business being. Usually, it's the fundamental of BLG in this very new world of LPL. And it's crazy that, again, Elkin on right now are the ones who are getting punished the most.
Yeah, it's definitely BLG skipping steps and trying to play through sides, but this is something that's been happened a lot. It's happened
Running
again.
up to On, he's going to hostile takeover, and again, saving the day is Sean. Betty takes it as Cataclysm jumps on down. You can see Pin teleported in, and Maple is stuck in the Aerodome. Knight with the Spirit Rush over, wants to go part 2 onto JunJia. The charm connects his Ahri as clean as ever as Bin shows up to the party. The turret got dropped on down as JunJia running for his life, but Knight's Flash Orb is great, and even if the bottom lane's not working that well, the rest of the map is.
This time around, BLG are ready for the counter in mid lane, and not only do they win the fight, they also get 2 towers.
They are coming alive here. BLG able to collapse and get so much, and now you just get to reset. With Dragon in 2 minutes time, you can play it through side lanes, pick up a 3rd Dragon if you want to. Baron about to spawn on the map. This is so much gold that's just been handed to BLG.
True.
Right as all these important objectives are coming up.
I see 8 stacks. I see 8 stacks on that Ring of Power. Remember, 9 were given out. This is the good one. This is the one. Yeah, this is the one that turns you invisible. But maybe in a good way. Dagda, break this down.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great ultimate from On. Catches Bessie and Maple, so they have to set up. And the fact that Shun is there at the perfect positioning to set up then with the Jarvan ultimate and coming off the side is great. And then Knight chasing him down, thanks to the speed up as well, coming through from the bailout, makes it impossible to try and follow up. And there's just nobody low enough for Azhi to really do particularly much here with Woody, with both of the main carries already down.
Yeah, nice push back there from Bin. And Bin now going to find himself
in a 1v2, 1v3, but he separates it. Never mind, numbers don't matter because Bin, as he brawls Maple over the wall, Shun is here to answer. His Ksante, what I remember from last year as well, as just caught in this too. PSG are separated. No one is working together as a team right now in PSG as they get torn apart in front of the Baron. That's an easy move for BLG.
Yeah, even though we generally see Bin tend towards the bruiser tops, he still looks sick on the Ksante whenever he brings it out. And now PSG Talon are staring down BLG at the Baron, but I don't know how the hell you can test this. Jun just flashes up in a few minutes, but you don't have it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a dream steal. No way they actually pull this one off. BLG are gonna secure the Baron. And we're only 21 minutes in this game. There we go, we got the Medjai's upgrade.
The murder book.
I know you like to see that one, Hysterics.
Oh yeah. All right, break this down because Bin again, as he separates Maple.
So he goes and runs straight at him. Ksante, of course, with the Unstoppable, is able to just use the W there and then ult him over the wall to separate from what PSG thought they were going to be able to get a 3v1, but really good pass maker there from Bin, able to get him against the wall for a perfect ultimate, and the rest of BLG were on the way. But of course, PSG know they're so far behind in this game, they have to keep on just kind of rushing.
Flag and Drag starts us off. This could be the fight that just leads into the enemy base at this point. JunJia is getting soloed out by Elk. He has to turn for the engagement. Culling's helping out, but Elk at max range, never mind. On flashes in to a Lucian. He sends out the takeover. Elk goes over, and he's bailed out. On is an animal. Knight picks up the tails of the Ahri, and Shun just sends in the Thunderdome for a 3rd time.
Yeah, and they have Baron, so they're immediately going to destroy your base as well.
Is that just
BLG!
No way. For what felt like a sloppy game, PSG adaptations, PSG positivity. The Weaver's Wall slowing it down for the spawn timers, so maybe it doesn't end here. But in 22.5 minutes, although it hasn't been clean League of Legends, it's been aggressive and abusive.
I mean, to be fair, it's been clean on both sides. I think PSG Talon in the early
Clean
stage
moments, for sure.
played well against what BLG were doing, but that one skirmish broke the game open, and from there, BLG have looked for skirmish after skirmish, push advantage after advantage, played through their sides into collapsing mid, and they had one fumble where they end up just overextending on mid-wave and PSG punished, but straight after, it's just stuff like this.
How to get free stacks, part 1. Knight says, hey, tune in for my next book. It's going to be another page. But he's running for his life. It's a 3-level difference between him and Knight. And as he charges down, this is a reason why probably this pick won't be available for the rest of the series.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back to the cross-map ace play plus 2 towers and see the turning point there. That's where they really just exploded the game. BLG still with a little bit of this Baron buff. They've got another minion wave's worth with 35 seconds left on it, but they're just going to take their double inhibitors and call it at that.
And what do you do at this stage as PSG Talon? It felt so close for well, I say so long, for at least 10 minutes, and then BLG kind of just said, right, we've had enough of this. We're going to play off of Knight's pressure in the mid lane. We're going to lean in towards that skirmish, make sure we're able to find it. And now you're in a position where 2 towers down, or 2 inhibitors even, gone on this bottom side. You just get to play up into this last 2 towers in the top end of the map and take everything from PSG Talon.
Yeah, this is why people were so excited to see BLG. Such an explosive team here.
Yeah.
24 minutes into the game, and Knight's back into the side lane. Should be able to push all 3 lanes easily here with 2 inhibitors down, and they just send him over there just for good measure.
But this is Knight's comfort zone. This is where he, even back when he was on top eSports back in 2020, we had clips of him going, hey, watch this, as he starts to demolish the enemy team. And it feels like this is where he again starts to come alive and look for picks, look for plays. So he just continues to keep the pressure up on PSG Talon.
And look, Ben just being a Giga Chat once again. He just runs in. That TP was gorgeous. Maple is knocked back and too far forward. Ben just says, I'll take it. Runs in under turret. Does he care? Ask him. Look at him. Watch him. He just takes 4 turret shots and not a piece of damage inside. Elk sends on for the handshake. Perfect. Shun was expecting him to run back, but as the hostile takeover reaches max range, BLG are once again in PSG's base. It felt long with the amount of skirmishing, but 21 kills, 25 minutes. The tournament favorites looked strange in the early game, but are still so good at outclassing their opponents and smacking them with their wallets.
And they were still ahead, too, in the early game also. Just not as much as after the explosive cross-map ace.
And I think that's the heartbreaking point is you had the counter pick against Bin, you had the counter pick against Knight, and still you couldn't do anything against them. It was the solo laners that really were the difference maker leading into those skirmishes, leading into that ace, that now PSG Talon have to find a way in draft to break.
It's crazy again for BLG. I like that they were testing. You know, I'm coming into this and I felt like it was going to be so one-sided. I just like that there was some adversity from PSG. I want to be positive on them. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are too, but don't forget, you can actually log into LoL eSports using your right ID to earn exclusive MSI 2024 drops. So on the break, go chill out, or rather at the analyst desk do that. And we'll see you back here for game 2 as we throw them over